Lord, dear Lord above, Lord, dear Lord above, God Almighty, God above, please look down and see my people through. Lord, dear Lord above, God Almighty, God above, please look down and see my people through.
If there be any mercy, Lord, see my people through. Mother, Father, Creator of all, I'm howling in rage at the undeniable injustices continuing with contempt for you. In this country, this experiment in consciousness, no recognition of brotherhood, common decency cast aside, compassion consumed by the lies and greed of darkness, refusing to admit defeat. Mother, Father, Creator of all, you will not be denied or continually disrespected. Victory lives in your word remembered. We, your people, built this bitch by our stolen blood, sweat, tears, souls shackled, scattered, but spirit not extinguished. We, your people of light, arise! We march, we arm. We aim to blot out ignorant envy of who we are and what we stand for. Spirit, ignited creativity. We will not miss our shot into eternity. We live to erase the seed of racism. Blind to our common creation. We are the agency of abolition. We declare reparations, restoration, renewal on this land with its native people and those who come seeking to grab freedom. It ain't free. Freedom ain't free in this infant democracy. We still longing, crafting, fighting for it. Still rubbing the sleep from our eyes, remembering the nightmare of the imposters trying to steal it. Mother, Father, creators of all, we belong to you.
Lord, this is a prayer for my people. Please watch over the families whose children have passed. Place peace in their hearts. You say, invite the people. Open arms. Inside the temple, I'll find you. But I'm inside the temple. It's dark. My arms are outstretched to feel for walls, and I grasp space, looking for you to put my faith in. And I look, because you say, when two or more are gathered, you are there. There were plenty around Floyd, I didn't see you. There were plenty more around Brianna, and I still saw not. And you say, turn to you in my times of trouble. Turn to you when I am broken. Turn to you when I have nothing else. I will make you whole. Sometimes I get tired of turning. What I want is justice. What I want is compassion. What I want is a way out. What I want is to live my life like they can. What I want is the killing to stop. What will it take to bring the babies back? Turn Brianna into the modern day Lazarus. Give Elisha 3 days. Resurrect Floyd from under the knee. I'm asking you for miracles. Hopefully it's not too much to ask for. Respect. I'm in your temple. Arms stretched out. Searching. Hands up. Guide my steps. You're all I need.
Behold, we create together new visions of life on this renewing earth. We walk in the names of our Creator forever and ever. To us, it is so. And so it is.
The wicked man shall fall when all the righteous man stand tall. Make them know them can't run and hide.
So, my beloveds, that's the way it was in those days.
The imposters were so sure they had the people of light surrounded in a shroud of darkness, sewn together by hatred, fears, and lies.
They were so drunk on pride and arrogance, they became bloated. They forged ahead, swimming in the blood of innocence and feasting on lynched flesh.
They planned to manipulate us.
We the rainbow melanin peoples, the vision poets. They thought we were convinced, blinded, deafened to the cried out anguished last breaths, calling for mother, seeking compassions which were unavailable. They thought we would turn on each other, shedding each other's blood. But then, lightning flashed, the lion roared.
Our eyes popped wide, our mouths open, declaring truths of brotherhood.
Unity, victory in the light network, silence to the tongues of liars. We pulled down the stronghold of the isms, called forth the drowsy religions to wake up, shout.
Lead with tools forged of love. We crafted community through services to each other.
We grew our food from blessed seeds, healed ourselves from the fruits, leaves, trees, vines, roots we grew. We sang our singeing songs. The divine light dissolved darkness, destroying hidden plots and schemes. We shifted the agencies towards true abolition, reparations. We chose to be the agencies to usher in transformation. We,
the family of all, choosing to live as one.
We forged this new garden. Same mother and same father, but a new garden.
ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. Ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. Ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. Ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. Ease and joy. I invite ease and joy. I invite ease and joy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for part 4 of the San Diego Black Women's Entrepreneur Summit. Sister Cities Project was created to form formalized partnerships between communities, affluent communities, and underserved communities. Right now, we have prototypes here in San Diego County, and the goal is to roll these out all across the nation, hopefully in an effort to build new relationships and deepen cultural understanding between communities that are very different. But if you really want to learn more about Sister Cities Project as a whole, I would encourage you to visit our website. It's sistercitiesproject.org. Because what I would really like to talk about right now is why we're here today, which is the most important thing, and that is to actually provide a platform and spotlight Black women entrepreneurs. So my connection to this is that, of course, my mother was a Black woman. And so I grew up in a very underserved community, Long Beach, California, in a very small home. We didn't have a lot of money. I think our home was maybe 900 square feet or something like that. And in our house lived not just me and my mom, but also my uncle, my sister, her 3 kids. And, you know, obviously when you don't have a lot of money growing up, my mom, for example, a lot of times, she worked at an all-white Christian school in Lakewood, California, which was actually about 20 miles away. And when you don't have a lot of money and when things happen, like the car breaks down, for a long time, my mom would have to catch the bus to work. And so my earliest, remembrance of my mother is her catching the bus 3 hours to work to Lakewood, catching the bus 3 hours back. And then the one thing she would always do is she would come home and she would basically make sure that everyone was okay. So she'd walk through the door, she'd make sure my sister's kids were okay, my sister, my uncle. She would make us dinner. She would make sure everyone in the house was okay. And then the thing that she would always do is she would go into her room and she'd shut the door. Now, as a, between the ages of 6 and 13, to me, that just was it was normal for me. So I never thought anything of it, as you wouldn't when you're that age. Come to find out later on that the reason my mom was doing that was because she would come home and do all those things for everyone else, and then she would go lay in the bed because she was suffering from cancer and she was too sick, so she'd have to lay down. And that was kind of my earliest, that happened for 6 years for me, and with my mom battling cancer. So for me, this is very personal. When I talk about starting Sister Cities Project, I talk about the fact that it's not just my goal or my dream, it's also my mom's dream. And unfortunately, my mom died when I was 13, at the age of 45, the same age I am right now. So it's my hope as a Black man to be able to come to the table. And, my mom never got a chance to really live out her dream. She never got a chance to see me live out mine. But it's really it's my responsibility. I feel it's my responsibility to give a platform to other Black women, and especially Black women entrepreneurs, to be successful and live out their dreams. So again, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I'm so very happy that you're with us. I would like to actually thank our sponsors, MCCSN, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 companies, 8560, the Diamond Bid, Urban Alchemy, San Diego Workforce Partnership, and of course, Bank of America. So thank you to our sponsors. And at this point, I would like to actually turn it over to our co-moderators to introduce themselves and take it from there.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Shawn, for sharing that story with us about your mom. Very touching story. At this time, we're going to have some housekeeping. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we are expecting from you today, our audience. Keep your cameras off and your sound muted during the discussion, and feel free to use the chat room to tell us where you're from, what your business is, and include any web links or social handles that you would like for us to have. Submit your questions during the Q&A session through the chat box. And if you have any specific questions for our panelists, please specify who you would like those questions to go to. All right, so our agenda will go as following. We will have a summit survey right after I'm done. We'll have our moderator introductions. We have the definition of financial capital and infrastructure. We will have our keynote presenter, Danielle Stephen, and then we'll have a Q&A shortly after that. Then we have our networking time, which is a wonderful time for everybody to get together. We have about 10 minutes for that, where you can meet other like-minded individuals and share your social links with them. Then we'll hear from our entrepreneurial panelists. And we'll get engaged into hearing their fabulous stories about their entrepreneur journey. And then you, our audience, will have an opportunity for a Q&A. And after that, we will then go into our closing and have a wrap up and hear back from our founder and CEO, Shawn McClondon. So with no further ado, at this time, if Christina could come on board and give us information about our survey.
Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead. So Christina couldn't join us, unfortunately. The one thing I want to say is that one of the things that is very important to Sister Cities is that we just don't talk about things. We really want to take action. So what we're asking, we have a survey. We'll put it in the chat. But after the actual event, we'd like everyone to take our survey. And the survey is really just getting information about, what Sister Cities and, what evaluating where everyone is at, especially if you're a Black woman entrepreneur, and actually also people that are here in the audience, what people would like to see us do, what actions people would like to see us take, where everyone is at, and we'd like to actually use that information, collect data, and actually take actions based on that survey. So as you see, the survey's just been put in the chat. So if you have time, it only takes a couple minutes. Please fill out that survey, and we'll make sure to take that data and utilize it to create programs and different things going forward. So I really, really, really urge you to do that, because it's very, very important for us to be able to see what everyone wants and take action based on that, and not just talk about the things that we'd like to do. So thank you. I appreciate you doing that ahead of time. All
right. Well, thank you, Shawn. So I'd like to just introduce myself. Well, before I introduce myself, I'd like to say welcome to you, okay? Welcome to you, and I'm Clara Carter, and I will serve as your moderator along with my lifelong friend, Michelle Price. Welcome to Sister Cities, Part 4 of the San Diego Black Women Entrepreneurs Summit. We are so excited to have all of you join us today. And it looks like we have a visitor all the way from the Motor City, I see here from Detroit. So thank you so much for joining in with us today. And so today's topic is going to be financial capital and building effective infrastructure. So that is what we're going to have. That's what we're going to talk about today. And now I'd like to just introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my history as an entrepreneur here in San Diego. I'm a native San Diegan. My parents, both from Northern Louisiana. I grew up in a neighborhood called Emerald Hills. Many of you may know of that, a middle-class Black family neighborhood. I attended local schools here in San Diego, Johnson Elementary, Gompers Junior High, and I'm a Hornet from the high. All right. So, and this is where we started making lifelong friends. All right. Such as that I spoke of Michelle. Fast forwarding, I worked for a major utility corporation for over 22 years and learned that my good corporate job was no longer exciting to me. So I took the entrepreneur leap and then leap of faith. And after several successful ventures as a serial entrepreneur, I would soon learn about meeting and event planning. And so I went back to school, started my niche business, which at that time, nothing was going on, it's still not, for multicultural tourism in the city of San Diego, providing hotel sourcing to my clients and event management services. And as a change maker, using my creative talents and resources, I produced several successful tourism programs for the city of San Diego, one of which generated millions of tourism dollars in revenue, putting San Diego on the map as a destination of choice for multicultural tourism. With the most recent creation, for women in tourism and hospitality, which is a national conference that we're preparing for this year. And with that, this conference focuses on providing strategies for women professionals who want to take their careers to the next level, grow their business, and build a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. What a journey it has been. However, I too have challenges as a Black woman entrepreneur here in the city of San Diego, which is one of the reasons why Sister Cities resonated so much with me, and I wanted to be a part of it so that we all can rise together. So I am one of you. Welcome again to Sister Cities Part 4. Michelle?
Yes, Claire is definitely one of us. Long time. I've known her for a very long time. So I would like to say Emerald Hills also in the house. I am from Emerald Hills. That's right. That's right. However, I got here from Alaska, courtesy of my father. He was in the military where he was the first Black chief in Alaska. We moved here. My mother was a spoken word artist, and she was very good friends with the woman that you saw on the video when you were coming in. But she also was in the American Negro Theater with Ruby Dee, and so she was very she was very traveled when she got here, and she became a teacher. She taught at Lincoln High School. She was a substitute teacher, and she also was a fierce community activist. So we were one of the first Black families to buy a home in Valencia Park. And I always like to tell people on the line that Valencia Park was the Rancho Bernardo of the 60s, so that you understand what we have in our community, and that we all grew up a very middle to upper class Black families. We had a lot of fun. Like Clara said, we made lifelong friends. I've lived in Valencia Park, I lived in Skyline, I lived in Encanto, and we finally moved to Emerald Hills. I went to Valencia Park Elementary School. I went to Knox. I went to O'Farrell Junior High School, and Patrick Henry High School is where I graduated from, but Morris was my home. And after I got married after high school, didn't want to go to school, and got a job working at UCSD Healthcare, where I stayed for 18 years ended up as an analyst running all of the outpatient clinics there. Jumped off over there, got laid off actually, and went to Qualcomm. And as soon as I got to Qualcomm, they decided they were going to sell the division that I got there in. And I just decided to take a chance on myself. I bet on myself. I had a lot of skills, and I was able to take everything that I learned, the knowledge and expertise that I had gained in those corporations, and create an entrepreneurial lifestyle that I love. So I did that. I lived the internet lifestyle, literally. I've been living a virtual business lifestyle for probably close to 17 years now. And so all of this COVID stuff it didn't really do anything to me, because that's how I've been. I ended up taking care of my parents for the last I took care of my parents for 5 years until they passed. And then I found myself having to start over. And so I looked around my neighborhood and I saw the state of business, and I was very disturbed at the state of disinvestment that was there. Like I was like, what is going on here? So I jumped into the Diamond BID, which is the Business Improvement District, and started volunteering, helping businesses get access to capital. COVID came along, and we had to, work on that. And then we were contacted by Sister Cities Project, and I was really excited, and that's how I got here with y'all. So I'm a woman entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur now for quite a while, and I'm one of you too. So we're here together, Claire and I, now on the other end, right? And we are definitely ready to let you see what we got. So let's get started. Today it is about financial capital and infrastructure, and we're going to talk about that.
Okay, and at this time, Michelle,
Yes.
you're going to introduce to us Miss Danielle.
Right. So we are lucky. Well, I'm going to talk to you about financial capital. So what is financial capital? I always like to say cash flow is king. And if you don't have the money to run your business, you can't run your business. You have to have cash flow. And so cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. And the other piece of your business that is really important is called infrastructure. And infrastructure is everything you need to do to get the cash flow coming in. So you've got technology, you've got all the different processes and systems, and all the things that you have to be working with to make sure that you have that. The tools that support your business, from IT, software, record keeping, all of that. So a stable infrastructure helps you manage profitable growth. And a lot of times, women entrepreneurs, what we do is we have an idea, we hit the ground running, and the next thing you know, we look up and we're like, oh, what happened? We ran out of gas. We quit our job and didn't have, we didn't really know how to run a business. We knew how to do what we do. And so there's gaps in what we have. And so what we are doing with Sister Cities Project is we're closing those gaps. We're going to close all those gaps that we've had. And one of the gaps we have now is called COVID. And how do you keep your business going in these times? And I know that a lot of the women here are solo entrepreneurs. And so people, we know what happened the first round of what they call PPP. And Danielle is going to tell us all about what all that means. But a lot of businesses got a lot of access to that and didn't leave any for the small ones to get any. And so what I reached out to Danny, and he was kind enough to tell me that we have somebody in our community named Danielle who works with the Central San Diego Black Chamber. And she also is a business advisor with the Small Business Development Center. And Danny is the regional director. Is that what you do, Danny? That's your title, right? So he's the regional director for Imperial Valley and San Diego. And that means that all of the small business development centers, he knows what's going on, and they've helped thousands of entrepreneurs. And so I asked him if he had an entrepreneur, a Black woman, and he said he did. So we were really excited to see Danielle, because I didn't know that you were here, even in the neighborhood. So I know that you were in higher education, and that you did training and design and curriculum. And then you made the shift into business. And now you're working with the Black Chamber on their education program, their education program manager. So when I heard that you could tell us about how to get PPP, even if you're the only person in your business, I was like, hey, come tell us about it. So if you could get started or tell us a little bit about yourself. You guys want to do that? Danny's here because Danielle asked him to be, then in case she needed some backup, she had her homeboy here. So that is, she's going to go ahead and tell us, how do we access this? What are all the requirements that we need to get financial capital should we have to do something like that?
Hello. Thank you so much for that introduction. Yes, my name is Danielle Stephen, and I came and I did ask Danny Fitzgerald to come with me. He has been doing this for so long, and I just want to make sure everybody gets all the information that they need and all the questions answered that we can have answered today. So thank you, Michelle, for that introduction. I am the program manager for the Central San Diego Black Chamber of Commerce, and I am a business advisor for the SBDC. And I think we're going to get these. If you have questions, you can go ahead and put it in the chat, and Danny can answer questions as we go. I know there's going to be a question and answer section at the end as well, that we can already get started if you'd like. So let's go ahead and pull up our slides. Today, we're going to talk about the Paycheck Protection Program. That's also known as PPP. So we're going to talk about PPP, the original, and PPP 2. And then we have slides. See if they're come up. Thank you. Okay. And then we can go ahead and go to the next slide. So what we do, the SBDC, we are funded by the US SBA and the California Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. With us, when you sign up with the SBDC, we are able to provide expert one-on-one business advising for free. So, we are located throughout San Diego, and right now we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. So we have meetings in person, but right now we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. And I know there are some advisors that are still meeting with people in person if they need to. With these PPP applications coming out, we have a lot of people that are just having technical difficulties, and they need someone there who can just walk them through that process. So for the next slide, we're going to talk. Danny is going to talk a little bit about this one.
So thank you very much, Danielle. So in addition to PPP, which Danielle will get into, as Michelle brought up, that we know that there's a number of solopreneurs. And one of the other programs that a lot of solopreneurs have been able to take advantage of, and this was very unique in that the unemployment insurance actually was able to apply to folks that were solopreneurs during COVID. And that was through a program called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. It temporarily expired for a few days over the holidays, but with the federal stimulus that passed in December, it did come back online. And so this works exactly like unemployment insurance, except for kind of the simple way you look at it is where it talks about income, like W-2 income, like you earn as a wage, like your salary or what you're getting from your paycheck. Instead, what you're looking at is really what your net profit is, or kind of your owner draw, and that's kind of what the equivalent looks like. It is a bit confusing as you complete the application on the EDD, because you fill it out exactly like you would an unemployment insurance. Say you were laid off from a full-time job or part-time job from any other employer that you got a W-2 wage from. And so where it's actually completed is through the California EDD, and it is done through the exact same unemployment insurance. The difference is, of course, you're explaining that you work for yourself, and that where it talks about income, that's your monthly income. So let's say, for example, you were a hairstylist and you had to shut down, because obviously so many of those have to shut down, what your monthly income was for that. And so this has been used by literally thousands and thousands of solopreneurs to be able to get some unemployment assistance. Wanted to talk about this because this is a program that's able to be continuous. One trick though is that you cannot so what you get from a PPP and what you have to pay yourself from a PPP does count as your income. So you would have to declare that to the EDD. The difference is, of course, that this program has been ongoing, but it does end on March 14th, but it does actually go retroactive all the way back to kind of the start of the pandemic in March of 2020. Yeah, that was a long time ago. So those are a couple of things just to think about, as you're going through there. If you did not ever take advantage of PUA, you still can. It's able to get you some retroactive money. Yes, it'll be a bit of a pain with the EDD, but you can certainly get through it. So we'll let Danielle talk about PPP now.
All right, thank you. So yes, my advice to all of my clients so far have just been to apply. There's no reason not to. There's nothing, it doesn't hurt me to apply for all of these things. And so I recommend for everyone to apply. And with the SBDC, we have advisors that can help you through the whole process. So you do not have to be afraid or tentative or anything like that. Go ahead and apply. So back to PPP, it reopened January 11th. And now the people who did not receive the first batch have become the priority. And also nonprofits and businesses that demonstrate at least a 25% loss in revenue during 2020 as compared to 2019 can apply to receive a second PPP loan. Okay, next slide. Loans are through banks and other lenders, so you can reach out to your personal bank to see if they offer them. If not, we can help you find one. Small businesses or nonprofits in operation prior to February 15th are able to apply, okay? So if you want to know if you're eligible, that's what we're going to talk about next. Are you eligible? Yes. If you are a sole proprietorship or independent contractor or eligible for or self-employed, you were in operation before February 15th, you are eligible. You have spent, and also if you did receive that first loan, you have to have spent it by now. Okay. You have to have less than 300 employees. And like I said, you have to have that 25% loss in gross receipts for 2019 versus 2020. Loans under 150,000 only to show at time of forgiveness. Go to the next slide. So the second loan cannot exceed 2 million. And the business must have less than 300 employees. And I think Danny's going ahead and he's going to be answering the questions in the chat. So the loan is 2.5 times the monthly payroll. Keep that in mind. And at least 60% must be used on payroll costs during the 8 to 24 week period. The other 40 can be used on rent, utilities, and now expenses related to workplace safety. So that's like PPE, plexiglass, the installation of that glass. And you are going to be able to work with the same lender. This is your second loan. Okay, next slide. Thank you. So the information to collect, there's a lot of information to collect and they can be found. The highlighted portion is what we really want you to pay attention to. So in your 2019 IRS form, look at the 1040 Schedule C, line 31 net profit amount. Okay, that's what you want to pay close attention to. And you're going to calculate the average monthly net profit. And I know this sounds confusing, but like I said, when you get with the SBDC, we can help you through all of this and we can help you calculate it. Okay, next slide. Now, if your business is in hospitality, accommodation, and food services, you may be eligible for a higher loan amount. So before we had 2.5, this one we have 3.5 times your monthly payroll. Okay, nonprofits who spend less than 15% of their budget on lobbying are now also eligible for a PPP loan. Right. So like I said before, 60% on payroll expenses, and this can include healthcare and retirement benefits. No more than 40% on eligible business expenses, rent, utilities. And then we have our others that are covered, the PPE, operations, property damage from civil unrest, supplier costs. All right, next slide. These are just some of the application changes. So we can see how it says the 2.5 and the idle do not include. And then we have the next slide. This is also a picture of the application. And it says the second draw, this is the second draw borrower. So if you've had it before. Okay. Next one. All right, so PPP loans can be forgiven up to the full amounts of the loan if utilized for eligible expenses. The idle advance, if received, will not impact the forgiveness factor. So please keep that in mind. Make sure you're keeping very close account of how you're spending your money. Oh, it's okay, you can go to the next slide. Just stay aware. Also, so for the last one, I know I'm running out of time. So for our very last one, we really would like you just to be aware of scams. There are so many scams out there. They're calling you, they're emailing you. Please pay attention to what you have applied for, who's sending these messages to you, and report them. You know, we don't want them out there scamming somebody else, you know, just because you are able to see through them and you don't fall for it, doesn't mean someone else won't. So we want to get these people reported, and we want to get them to stop being able to complete their scam, stop phishing. And that is it from us. And I think we're going to move on to our question section. Danny, did you want to add anything?
I want to add a little bit on the scams, because
Yes.
that has been a real problem.
Yes.
And you know, so if you get something you question or things like this, you know, that's what our office is for. There is a local SBA office, and so we've seen there've been some crazy things we've seen, and so we do watch out for that. Be cautious. The SBA, for example, will never ever ask for any personally identifiable information that via email. They will ask you to log into a portal. And so that will be a secure portal. You know, if you don't get anything, if it doesn't come from a .gov email address, be very, very, be concerned about that. That goes all the way to some of the local programs as well. Like if it was a city of San Diego or a county of San Diego programs, they come from a .gov email. But feel free to reach out to us at the SBDC. We've trust me, we've seen some crazy things, and but we really do want to hear on the caution side of that. So, but there are real things that the SBA is reaching out for, and so also do watch your email for things like that. It can be of benefit to you. So we do have some questions in here. So I did answer some.
All right. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Danielle and Danny for joining us today and giving us this information about PPP. And I have a lot of questions myself, but I'll probably contact you guys afterwards because I'm going to take up too much time here. But I'd like to introduce Leslie at this time. It is my pleasure to introduce Leslie Bridges. She's our COO of the Sister Cities Project, who will be handling the Q&A portion of the summit. So at this time, Leslie, take it away.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions. Danny already started, thank you so much, answering them in chat, but we're going to probably go back over them because not everybody is reading chat, and there's so much here from everybody. So thank you both for getting into the details. We probably won't get to them all. I'm actually going to set my clock so that I stay on schedule. The first one, I'll just jump into it, and either one of you who wants to take it can. Is there any difference from SDBC PPP services and that of individual banks? And can you say what those differences are?
So in short, we're not a lender. We are a business assistance provider. We don't provide loans, we don't provide grants, we don't provide any of that type of funding. We are funded as a business assistance provider, and we help folks apply for PPP loans, City of San Diego grants, County of San Diego grants, and plus in normal times, regular loans. And that's what we do. So we're here as basically as your advisor, as stated. And so that way we're able to then provide that type of information for you and kind of help you, find a lender if you don't have one, understand what you need to do, put together your finances, and so that's really what it is we're not here to sell you anything. We're here to help you.
That is such good news. Did you want to say something, Danielle?
Oh no, I was going to agree, say the same thing. And also in non-COVID times, we also help you. We can help you develop your business. We can do start to finish. We help with business planning, all those sort of things. But now this has just become very much what people. This is a priority. This has become what people really want help with. So.
Thank you both so much for that. Having gone through applying for a payroll protection loan the first time around, I can tell you, and there, I needed a lot of help. So it's wonderful to know that there are no-cost services in San Diego that are so fantastic. Thank you for that. Somebody's asking, did you say small business can participate or only solopreneur? That's a question from the chat.
Oh no, yes, small businesses can participate as well.
Okay. Somebody else is asking, and this is just confirming a detail, 25% year-to-year reduction from 2019 to 2020, and can it be in any given quarter?
Yes. So it does have to be a fiscal quarter, but it would be any given quarter. So that maybe your, there was one I was helping that we looked at each of the 3 quarters. 2 of the quarters wasn't a 25% loss, but 1 was, so they qualified.
Awesome. Well, that's one of the things you had said to me when we talked initially, which is most people are going to be eligible for this. And that's, I think, a message that's really important to get out there. Here's another one from chat. I am in hospitality and was not aware of the additional benefits prior to applying for PPP. How do I take advantage of 3.5%?
It's mainly applying for the second draw PPP. And so it is for someone who did get, a business that did get a PPP. So let's say, you own a hotel and you did get a PPP initially. And then for your second draw, because you fit within that classification, what's called the National Association of Industry Classifications, NAICS, but it's very easy to actually determine that. But if you fit within that classification, hotels, restaurants, and the like do fit within there. That allows you to get a loan that's larger. So let's say I own a restaurant. My average monthly payroll is $100,000. My first PPP was $250,000. Now it can be $350,000. Just using that as easy math.
Okay, those are good numbers. What is an EIDL advance?
So an EIDL advance is from the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. So probably you would have applied, like say last April or May of 2020, and you would have gotten a direct deposit from somewhere between $1,000 to $10,000, most likely $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000. That would have just shown up in your bank account from the SBA, US Treas, or something like that. That's a grant that the people did receive from the federal government. And so that's what that advance means. There are select businesses based upon where your business is located that you may be getting an email now from the federal government saying you can apply for more money from that. Reach out to us if you get that. The application, the SBA claimed it was easy. It's really not. So reach out to us. We'll help you navigate that application. It was clearly written by government attorneys.
Did you want to add anything, Danielle?
No, I think.
Okay. There's another question tailing this, which I'm just going to add, which is the EIDL loan forgivable?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. If you are an individual business with no employees, can you still apply, or is that what the EDD is for?
You want to take this one, Danielle?
Oh yeah, yes, you can still apply. Yes.
Okay. And here's something from somebody else. I'm just going to read some of these things because there's so much coming in on the chat right now. We're a nonprofit that's looking to hire staff. We did not have employees last year, but we have employees now. We do not lobby, but advocate for Black women in construction. Are you saying a nonprofit can qualify? That's newsworthy because I didn't know that either until today.
I think that had to do with the change. So yes, a nonprofit can qualify now.
Okay. So that person who gave you that particular scenario is eligible to apply. That's incredible. All right, let me see something else here. Is the verify your ID from EDD legit? This is from the Facebook chat.
I would have to see it.
Okay, yeah.
I guess is my best answer.
Yeah, okay, there's a lot out there.
There's a lot of that, I mean, they get pretty creative with their ability to be sneaky, but
Yeah.
there's also plenty that are. So I'd have to see it, or you can always just call the EDD directly. I know that's a pain, or the other ones that are really doing a good job advocating for the EDD are your state legislative offices. I know, so your assembly member, your state senator, they're doing a really good job.
Here's one. Can you apply for an SBA Express Bridge loan after receiving EIDL?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. There's a lot of yeses here. And here's one. How long do applications take realistically? And I think the context for this is everybody who's here is an entrepreneur. And the thing that is mostly scarce for entrepreneurs, as you both know, is time. And so some of this, it's like, yes, you can do this, but it'll take how many hours to do it. Can you just give us a little reality check about that and what it's like and how long it takes?
I think it depends. What I find to be the most time consuming is just the gathering of all of your information.
Yeah.
So once you have all of your information together, it doesn't take that long. Danny, what do you think?
Exactly. It depends, gathering the information is the most important. And so that, the two most critical things would be, number one, your 2019 tax return. And so that way you have that information. And if you have employees, your payroll records. Those are the two critical components, along with just your, your tax returns can have a lot of that other business information already for you. And so, after you have those documents, it doesn't take that long. But making sure you have that and you have that information accurate. If you're applying for your second PPP, again, then you'd need some of your 2020 financials. But that can be as simple as, hey, take a look at, just compare your bank statements. What were your deposits October through December of 2020 versus October through December of 2019? That they can be, so it's kind of gathering those documents. That's why, a lot of times, as you work with Danielle or one of our other business advisors, making sure you have that kind of all prepared. So when you do sit down to do the application, it doesn't take long because they're not long. They're a page and a half, but as long as you're prepared, it's very easy. But if you're not, you're having to go find information, that's what can be time consuming.
I've got another question here, which is how to document owner's draw when you're doing this.
So Danielle talked specifically about that in her presentation, and that's from your 2019 tax return. And so, where she talked about where you use your, so if you are a sole proprietor and you filed a 1040 with a Schedule C, that line where it has your net profit amount, you divide that by 12, and that is a legal way to demonstrate what your owner draw was. And that's the thing the banks and the SBA love because it's a clear legal document.
Thank you. And then you mentioned something about preparation, and Danielle, you referred to the fact that you are an advisor, and I think it would be helpful for people to know, as an advisor, do you get involved in helping people figure out the preparation? Because some people don't have it all together and easily can find everything to preparation.
Right.
That's why I kind of asked about how long it takes, because sometimes preparation takes. Do you help people with that? How does that work with an advisor?
Well, it depends. Sometimes people have all of the documentation themselves. Sometimes they have to go to their accountant. So I think most have their bank statements online now. So it really just depends on the individual and how they are keeping track of their own finances for their business.
Thank you. Our time is up for this. There are so many other questions. I had a feeling this was going to be very popular in the chat. So thank you, everybody, for asking the questions. And thank you two so much for being part of this and sharing all of the details. It can seem really overwhelming sometimes, even for people who think they're on top of it. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Michelle.
Hey, so thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Danny. I knew this topic would be of interest because it's about money, right? It's about the money. And I know that there are a lot of questions. And so if you have more questions, feel free to, if you want to put the slide back up, they can reach out to me at my email address is Michelle with 2 L's, the old fashioned way, at sistercitiesproject.org. And I can put you in touch with either Danielle or Danny, or maybe I have the answers, or, you know, we can talk about the EDD. So please, please reach out. I am so grateful to you for coming, and I know it was short notice and you guys did great, so thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to talk about wrapping up. This is our 4th series, and it's been quite a journey. I am super, super sad to see it come to an end, but it's not really going to come to an end. I'm so glad for everybody that's been. I know there are people that have been on every single one with us. And for that, you know, we really do appreciate you. We are going to, but this is not the end. So I just want you to know that. We know that this is something that we need to, if anything, ramp up the action on this. And so one of the next things we'll be doing is looking at helping, you know, having something maybe called Getting Ready to Access Capital. Okay, that might be the next series. I'm not going to promise, but that might be the next series. And so just keep a lookout, and we will be rolling out more information after this conference. And I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. So Clara, do you want to take on the next thing?
Sure. Thank you, Michelle. So at this time, I'd like to give a special spotlight to one of our sponsors, one of our new sponsors that have come on board. And without our sponsors, none of this could be possible. So we are so forever thankful for our sponsors. And I have the extreme pleasure of introducing Tasha Blackshear, who's a business banking relationship manager for Bank of America, one of my banks, providing proactive strategic guidance and financial solutions to help their clients achieve their goals. Tasha facilitates and manages commercial financing, treasury management, and deposits for businesses with $5 to $50 million in sales revenue. Tasha also is Bank of America's chair of their local Black professional group and is a relationship manager in business banking. Thank you and welcome, Tasha.
Thank you, Clara. What a wonderful introduction. I think it's probably on purpose that I come behind a PPP conversation, being that I'm employed with one of the largest financial institutions in the world. We are certainly in the midst of the second draw of PPP, and I think it's fantastic that you all are providing this very valuable information to business owners. It's vastly important for them to sustain their businesses, and so I'm just really proud to be a part of this call today. As you mentioned, I am a business banker, a commercial banker, and so I do a lot for local businesses in San Diego that kind of fall in that mid-sized group. And we really help them navigate the bank for all of their financial needs, it's very rewarding to come in contact with many of these business owners. But also, besides my day job, I am very proud to be a part of the Black professionals group within Bank of America in San Diego specifically. And so when I was asked to share just a few words today, I was privileged, honestly, because I think Black women entrepreneurs specifically don't get enough attention. And so I'm glad that the institution that I'm employed with is showing their support by sponsoring events like this one with Sister Cities Project. And this is very timely. Bank of America just recently released their 2021 Black Business Owner Spotlight. And I believe that will be released a publication on Tuesday. So this was perfect timing. As supporting Black businesses is very important to Bank of America, especially at the local level. San Diego's committed to focusing on delivering resources and information to help small business clients just navigate through not only what's happening now, but to prepare for what's to come, what's coming next for their business. We proudly serve nearly 12 million business owner clients nationwide, and approximately 33% of those are small business clients that are owned by women. That's very powerful. In 2020, as we all know, was a very challenging year. And our research and the things that we have been reporting on are that Black small business owners were in particularly disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. And we've even seen studies that have said that, nearly half may not survive this pandemic. Despite all of these challenges, there is also research that shows so many of these business owners have remained resilient and flexible. And they have navigated through an evolving, uncertain business landscape, and we know that they're going to come out on the other end. While this may be challenging to predict when this all will end and things will be back to business as usual, if that exists anymore, we'll all stay and wait and watch as our economy recovers and to find out what that looks like. But I'm confident that Black businesses will play a significant role, and so is Bank of America. And I think that's why there's a lot of concentration on this segment. We really do see that this economic recovery will have so much to do with Black small businesses coming through this. I'm excited to hear all of the wonderful panelists and just privileged to be included in this conversation today, and would just like to thank Sister Cities Project for the opportunity and all of the great work that you all do every single day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tasha. We appreciate you, and we thank you for sponsoring Sister Cities, and we're looking for bigger and better things to come in the future, okay? And I'm glad to hear about Blacks in business at Bank of America. So I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit later, because I want to know a little bit about what you guys are doing with the Blacks, okay, in the bank, okay? But thank you so much. Yes, we appreciate your time. So at this time, we'd like to give thanks to the rest of our sponsors. So we have videos that we'd like for you to take a look at.
Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy Michael K. Williams, and right now you chilling with Urban Alchemy 360. Stay up.
Count on you to lead the next 400 years.
The Make a Film Foundation grants film wishes to children battling serious diseases. So far, more than 100 documentaries and 4 short films completed.
In every generation, there are those whose hearts have been ablaze with the possibility of what it means that all people are created equal and all people should have a chance to spread their wings and become everything that they can be to actualize their God-given potential.
That was amazing. I always get so excited to see that. So next we have some networking. If I could get the slide up. This is the part that everybody really, really enjoys. And it seems like it goes far too fast. So we're going to be breaking out into groups. And I'd like to let you know that we have a LinkedIn group that we have in the chat. We'll put the address of it in the chat. And we're going to be randomly assigned into breakout rooms for 10 minutes. And so have your contact information ready, your business information ready, and your social media handles, everybody. So don't forget to join us on @SisterCitiesProject, and let's do it.
And I once again did not want to give up on that time, but here I came back anyway. I guess I was forced to, wasn't I?
All right. Okay, so I'm not sure if everyone's back yet, but I know we have to keep this program going. So was that networking session not powerful? Did you guys meet some great connections while you were in that networking? Yes, we had. Well, I can't even. I don't want to share it. Yeah. But anyway, it was a very powerful session, and I'm glad that we had the time. This is how we make our connections and continue to just use our resources. So with that being said, we're moving on to the program, to the part where many of you are looking forward to, which is to hear from our amazing panelists that we have with us today. So with that, I think I'm going to still be up on the next thing here. Today we have joining us 4 amazing entrepreneur women who share their entrepreneur stories, who will be sharing their entrepreneur stories with us. I'm going to turn it over to my friend Michelle, who's going to introduce the first 2 panelists.
All right, get these slides up. So I have the honor of introducing Kenita Glover. She is the founder of the Bar Bank, and I'm not going to tell you about Kenita because she's going to tell you about herself, but what I will tell you about Kenita is, remember when I told you I'm from San Diego and I know a lot of people, I would just say that for those of you who know about Pop Warner football, I remember her from those days when my husband used to coach, and she's grown up and I'm really proud of her. And the Bar Bank is a really innovative concept. So thank you, Kenita. And she'll be introducing herself in just a minute, telling you a little bit more about her background. I'd also like to introduce Lisanne Basquiat. Basquiat. She is the founder of Shaping Freedom. And the crazy thing is, I know Lisanne too, because I met her a few years ago through the Hero Hub when a client of mine was there. And so Lisanne will tell you about herself, but she's an advocate for supporting human beings and remembering who they are and why they're here, and then discovering what they can actually accomplish when they really commit to a healthy relationship with themselves. And I can't wait to hear what Lisanne is up to. So Clara, you're next.
Okay, and I have the extreme pleasure of introducing 2 ladies of which I know personally. Lily Clue. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her because I'm sure she's not going to tell you. And so I'm going to take this moment to share who this dynamic woman is. Lily Clue is a Togolese American clothing designer, and has been a resident of San Diego since 2000. She's best known for her African Lily Couture line, which is the centerpiece of her authentic fashion designs. And ladies, if you have not experienced this, oh my God, you're doing yourself a disservice, but she is an amazing designer. She creates fashions for women, men, and children, and also for those very special occasions. She was inspired by the concept of African art, and her garments and accessories have been raising fashion status all over America. She's been featured internationally, nationally, as well as local publications and TV interviews, and has participated in the Fashion Week San Diego. So when you're seeking that unique, one-of-a-kind outfit that you want heads to turn when you walk in the door, okay, look no further, because Lily is your girl. She has you covered. Welcome, Lily. And my next phenomenal entrepreneur and hairstylist. She's my own hairstylist as well. Twyla Green. She was born and raised in southeastern San Diego. She's the owner of Hair Agency, where she proclaims that your beauty is her duty. Okay, and let me tell you firsthand, She is a master at her craft. She can do it all. Weaves, perms, flat irons, everything. She can hook you up. Ponytails, anything you want, she can do it. Okay, Twyla was fully immersed in the beauty industry at an early age of 12, where she was inspired by her great lineage of professional hairstylists and nail technicians. Throughout her journey, she has experienced some personal struggles, which she turned into positive experiences, using beauty as a tool to help, not a weapon to break down. Twyla created a new business venture called the Twynot Show. It's a mental health awareness through fashion and the arts, and a free after-school program using beauty to uplift and inspire teenage girls in her local community. She is also an instructor for the next generation of stylists at the Urban Beauty College. So with that, and her motto is beauty from the inside out. And she says that what keeps her going is her faith in God, which has always been her driving force for achieving greatness. Welcome, Twyla. All right, so we're going to get started. I have the first question. So the first question is, why did you get started? Why did you start this business of entrepreneurship? And I'm going to ask Lisanne to tell us, why did you start?
Thank you, Clara. I started, I actually was in corporate. I was in corporate for 23 years, and I did work, I would lead these large enterprise-wide projects, business transformation projects. And I would also do work around organizational change management. And then I decided that I was going to transition into entrepreneurship full time. I was a coach, a licensed, a certified coach at the time, and still am. And so I decided to do the thing that felt right to me. It was the problem that I really saw in the world. And that is that people don't always, for a variety of reasons, what I found is that people weren't really living their true life. They would sit in corporate offices and they would look out the window and dream about what they were getting ready to gonna do without actually taking action on it. And so for me, what's been up for me for as long as I can remember is that our family legacy is the thing that supports, encourages, or holds us back a little bit from actually doing the thing that we really want to do. And so what I did was I took both of those observations, the observations of how we are within a corporate environment, and by we, I mean just people in general, how we are in a corporate environment and how we exist in our families and how we pass on emotional, financial, mental legacy from generation to generation. And I took my observation around the importance of strengthening family and cleaning up yourself so that you're better strengthening your family, and also looking at how that permeates to everything that you do. And so today, Hera Hub Carlsbad is all about living your dreams and supporting primarily female entrepreneurs in growing and scaling their business. And Shaping Freedom is all about helping people on the personal side, to address those things that are happening within their familial legacy and cleaning those things up so that our families are stronger and more powerful, and so that the people within our families are stronger, more powerful, and more personally accountable. And then a third project that I didn't mention before is my sister and I also manage, our father passed away 8 years ago now. And my sister and I manage my brother's estate. He was an artist. And so everything that I do ultimately is really about family and about empowering family through personal integrity.
Wow, thank you so much, Lisanne, for sharing that. All right, so we're on a tight little schedule here, so we're just going to kind of move on, and everyone has about 2 minutes each to answer the questions. But thank you. That was empowering, Lisanne. We'll get back to that. So next, I would like to hear from Lily. Tell us, how did you start? Why did you start?
Well, I started from Africa before I got here. I went to the school for the fashion, and myself, I love fashion. I love, want to be beautiful, wearing your clothes and stuff like that. So I went to the school there, and I had to come back here I got married, so I had to come to US. So when I came, I started doing it in my house, trying to know more about the community and to provide, African clothing to people here. So like back the day, it's not like before, it's not like now. Before, it was kind of like more traditional. If you don't have anything to do with the Africans, you can't wear African clothes. So for me to keep going, just trying to see how you can change people, how you can make people know about your culture, is to keep produce the product to show them how to wear it, how to, to feel comfortable. So it might take a long time, but now I can see it's kind of like now it's more better. Everybody likes it. People are wearing it. They want to know more about it. And then I'm so happy, I stay on it. Just now, don't just give up. Just continue to do what you want to do, what you like to do, which I love to do what I'm doing. So it makes me keep going. So, and then now it's kind of like okay, you can share, whatever you learn from me and turn to be a business owner, entrepreneur and stuff like that. With this pandemic, is a lot to say. But I'm very grateful, still hold on to it, still working on it till now. So it's a lot to share to other people. Thank you.
Yes, lots to share. Thank you so much, Lily. And Twyla, if you could share with us, why did you start?
Well, I would say that two important things happened in my life for me to start doing hair. Number one, my family, they are in the beauty business. They own salons here in San Diego, locally, in Atlanta, and I believe in New York still. So it's been embedded in me, the beauty industry. But two important things happened. If you read a little bit about my bio, I was born in prison. My mother had me in prison. And through that, I went through the foster care system, but I was still able, because my foster mother was part of my family, I was still able to kind of congregate with a little bit of my family. And so I was able to get my hair done at one of my aunt's shops, and I saw how people came in. That was one thing. Another thing is just fast forwarding, I ran away from foster care, being sexually and physically abused. And my grandmother put me in etiquette school, and I ended up winning the pageant as the only plus size girl, and that let me know that people were looking at me for my skills and not how I looked. And so I knew one day that I wanted to do something in the beauty industry. I knew to own my own business, but even take it further than that, because people in the community have countlessly saved me. Countless.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Twyla, for sharing that. And we're going to get to some of those other key points as we get through the rest of the questions. But thank you for sharing. And last but certainly not least, Kaneda, if you can share with us, why did you start?
I believe it's just something that I kind of just maybe manifested when I was a younger child, because when I found out what the word meant, it was something that intrigued me. And it's not something that I necessarily thought that I was going to accomplish, but it just seemed to unfold that way. And I just definitely aligned with it.
All right. Very good. Short and sweet. She said, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My turn. I think that I'll just start the same way we did. Lisanne, this question's for you. And what were your challenges as you started your business? What did you find challenging?
There were things going on in my own head, to be honest with you. It was like, can I do this? I had a really successful corporate career. Would I be able to continue to provide for myself and for my family? That was one of the biggest challenges. And then throughout the years, it's really just been the world and life. For example, last year, we had this situation come out of nowhere for all of us, that impacted us. And the biggest challenge that I also enjoy is solving problems. So last year the problem was I owned a co-working space and nobody could leave the house. So we just took everything online. So the biggest challenge is just keeping my mind open and receptive to different ways of doing things.
That's, I gotta say that is that's the boogeyman, right? It's in your head. The biggest one you got is in your head. Lily, what about you? What was the biggest challenge for you as you started your business?
The biggest challenge for me is just how you gonna keep up going. Even though if something is happening, especially what just happened last time now, so we're still on it. That one was the biggest challenge. And I have a couple's pass, I have to close the store and, come back and open again. This is my third store I open, I keep coming back. You don't want to give up and still want to make sure you pursue your dream. So for me, it's the biggest challenge for me to be here right now.
Still there. Okay, so still hanging in. Okay, that you're still here. But you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
That's good, right? You're still here.
Yes.
So, Twyla, how about you? What did you find the biggest challenge? And thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Queen. The biggest challenge for me was to be an individual and not be connected with my lineage or the people, that people associate me with. They're great, but I'm Twyla, I'm individual. And so it was, and I'm linked in with the church and all that. I'm a church girl and all that. So everybody would associate me with that. And I was trying very, very hard, and it was a struggle in the beginning to be just Twyla, the South, not the other person. So, and for them to take me seriously in being that, in that role.
Wow, I understand. I just think it's so interesting how we have somebody like Lisanne on the line as you're speaking, what your legacy was, and it all comes together all the time. Kenita, you got away with not telling us really how you started your business, but what was your biggest challenge starting something called the Bar Bank?
I would say that the biggest, and I'm sorry about that, I was probably just trying not to take up too much time, but I would probably think that the biggest challenge for me was just getting to the point where things are growing and I was booking multiple events in the same day, and I needed people to look out for my best interest, as I always promise to look out for my clients' best interest. And, just to be I needed to have good help, because it would start to be a lot that I couldn't really handle on my own.
And I know that
it's not easy to ask for help, and it's not easy to really trust that someone is going to do it with your same vision or with your same enthusiasm. And because, sometimes I'm starting to realize that the client is actually hiring me because they like something about me, when I really just wanted to show them that I knew how to bartend. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure that the client would still be happy and satisfied, even if, you know, this is a business. It's not necessarily just me being hired, you know, it's an event company.
Got it. You had to pivot though, too.
Oh, I had to pivot in a major way because I couldn't do my events anymore. It's like I was so successful. I felt that way. I felt like I accomplished this whole pre-booking my year out so that I didn't have to worry about where the money was coming from. And then for all that to stop, I kind of, that was not easy. I'm not someone that can really just deal with the uncertainty. I kind of like to have it pretty much worked out because there's always going to be uncertain anyway. So I like to just eliminate that as much as possible. So that just really put me into a very uncomfortable position as far as just like, you know, having faith and just knowing that I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to work out, or it's already done, you know, I'll be fine type of thing.
Wow.
As far as pivoting, I had to start making actual gift sets and gift kits that people can open up at home or entertain at home and just, you know, buy a party bottle to pour over ice, opposed to hiring me to come into their home and possibly, you know, we just weren't unsure of what this pandemic was all about.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I think that's awesome.
Awesome.
You're so creative.
With outdoor outings now, you know, there's a lot of people doing the al fresco, or I call them al fresco packages, but a lot of people are calling them picnics. But as an African American woman, I just am not comfortable with that word. So we call them al fresco packages, where we just create a package for you to go to the beach, whether it's date night with your family, with your girls, and the park, camping, and we just create a nice food and beverage package that's safe for everyone's not digging in the same bag. Everybody has their own little meal and their own little beverage that's catered just for them, and also all these other entertainment activities that they could be safe with their loved ones outside.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Well,
Claire, you next.
All right. Okay, so the next is, I'm going to address this to Lily. What support did you receive when you were starting your business, if any? I'll leave it at that. Because we know that support is very important in business, but sometimes we don't have all of what we need. But what support did you receive?
Well, first I'll say my community first. They're always there, you know, to come and stay for the network, CBCC, and the Boulevard Association, RSC, you know, they're all part of my success right now. And now I'm gonna have a, you know, it's a city too, so you know, it's gonna be a great thing for me. So then, and what I want to say about that, you know, sometimes, especially, you know, I'll say I'm from Africa, I came from Africa, and then we don't understand very well, you know, what is all those stuff means. And then if somebody reach out to you, want to tell you, we can help you to get you where you want to go and stuff like that. Say, oh no, this person trying to want to come and get my business, right? We always think it that way. So, but I'm so glad, you know, I didn't do it that way. And then for me to be where I am today, those help, you know, it get me to where I am today. So I'm very, very grateful for my community and all those networks.
Okay, so we have a little bit extra time, so I'm going to expand a little bit more. I want to hear, Lily, because I know a little bit about your story. So give me a little bit more, give us a little bit more about the other support that you have in your country. You have support, not only in the U.S. I know that. Well, tell us about that.
Well, well, right now I do have a manufacturer back home, which, you know, I have you know, people sewing my clothes and bring it back to this country, to this place to sell. And for them to be doing that, it helped me to get where I am today too. Because if I don't have that kind of support there, make sure I get a close of time, and then I can sew for everybody here. I know, I do custom made and stuff like that, but sometimes, you can't sew for everybody. So now my country, they help me now to send me the clothes and stuff here, so I can get to other people faster than before. So I'm very grateful to have that there. At least, get back to my country, which is very, very important for us to do. So.
Okay. And what I also noticed, I heard you say, is that it's really hard to trust people, and that's one of the things that we as women, as entrepreneurs, I know it was true for me as well, but that's why we have sister cities. And that's why I created my program, Women in Tourism, because we have to have a safe place where like-minded individuals can come together and to share information and to help each other. So now, Lily, you have another place of which you can trust us women, okay, to share information, to help you when you're in those challenging times. That's what this is all about. So I just had to put that plug in there because you're not alone. We're all together. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're African, we're African American descent, we're all of that, Black, whatever, but we're still sisters, we're still women of power. So
and then
that.
I thank you for that, which like I said before, it's so hard for us to really understand what is the service they're gonna give you and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful, to be part of it, and then I can teach my other people, my own community people, so they can be involved too. So I can really explain it to them what is going on there. So they go there, they're gonna have access.
That's very good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, and Lisanne, if you can share with us, what support did you receive when you started your business?
I didn't mention this earlier. I'm from Brooklyn originally.
Okay.
And I grew up in the Northeast, and I moved here in 2012. And I had been, so what that means is that I was an entrepreneur in the Northeast and one here. I joined the Hera Hub community here because I was new to this area and I didn't know anyone. And the way that entrepreneurship is handled in the Northeast is very different from the experience that I had here, where in the Northeast, everyone is kind of in a silos, figuring it out on their own. And when I moved here and found this community, what I found in both the Hera Hub community and other communities like this one is that we're better when we come together and support each other and hold each other up and hold each other down when we need to. Yeah. I'm bi-coastal and I have been, since 2012. And I have to say that San Diego and living here has really taught me, and I'm really grateful for that, really introduced me to the power that happens when people come together, like-minded people come together with a giving and generous spirit to help each other. So my support is community. Yeah, every day, all day.
Thank you. Community is so important.
It's
everything. Yes, it's everything. It is everything. And Kenita, if you could share with us what support you received when you started your business.
When I started my business, most of my support came from my tips and just working really hard and using that money to invest into the equipment that I needed to complete an event. So I've definitely been self-funded as far as support is concerned. But what I wanted to bring back as far as what Lisanne just mentioned is how important community has been to me and how I realized how important building a community and things like this is because if something were to happen again where the world just stops, I don't want to have to depend on the government or, the help is and the relief is there. But I remember not having any relief for 4 months, 2 months, or something like that. And it was the community who stepped up and wouldn't let me fall, literally. It was my group of women entrepreneurs that we normally are just doing content together, but we actually took it to a whole nother level of support. And they're the ones who really helped me survive during those times where I didn't have any relief or any support. So I just wanted to reiterate how important it is to build community and to build and to take care of each other in this type of way, because this is what's really going to keep us alive when the world falls from beneath our feet.
There you go. We're women, and we usually can think quick on our feet and juggle many things, but you're right. It's going and turning to those people, your community, those people who support you, who have been there for you, and thinking really quick, what can I do next, okay, to keep money flowing. So thank you for that. And Twyla, what support did you receive?
Just like these other queens, I received support from my community. I've always been in some type of group or something, so I've been blessed that I've had a certain type of group or a few queens around me to support me. Financially, it was just God and me. Just God and me that got me through the years I have been in business. Because like Queen Michelle has said, I'm a Black woman, I just got it done. I just got it done. And I know as Black women, we are very, very strong. And that's part of our culture. Sometimes maybe not being, it's the right thing, but sometimes we don't make sure that we are concentrating on the full part of being a woman, even a Black woman. So we have that strong part where we say, I'm strong, I'm making, I'm gonna do it, and nothing's gonna bring me down. But then that softer edge, where we invite people and we don't have trust issues, to bring people on to help you. So I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful to the community who have helped me and supported me along the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle, you're
on mute.
I have a 6-year-old grandson and he's out there hooping it up. So I want to bring that into the conversation. Lisa Ann, what did you wish was available to you when you started your business? If you look back, what do you wish was available to you?
15 years of experience. I think I wish that the confidence that I learned and acquired, I wish that was available to me, because the difference between Lisanne as an entrepreneur without confidence, kind of like tiptoeing in to this whole thing of working for myself, and the Lisanne who eventually decided that I'm just gonna go for it because, why not? I'm here. That it was just a decision, such a small thing, like just to decide to be bold. So I guess what I wish is that I would have been bolder and more courageous.
Bolder earlier?
Not courageous, more confident.
Earlier in your entrepreneurial journey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give me an example. Give me an example.
Back then, social media wasn't, what it is today or as important as it is today. But back then, I remember putting so much time and energy into a business card or into the content that was on my website. And I fartsed around with that so long, where it really wasn't that important, and when I look back on it, what I realized is that I was really hiding behind, like getting things, getting ready to get
ready, right?
Yeah, when in fact, I had, my business was doing really well, and it was doing well on referrals and recommendations and conversations that I was having with people, so it was that confidence. And then over time, I just got to a point where I was like, you know what, just go for it, girl. Like the worst that can happen is that a person will say no, but at least they'll know that what I have is available, and hopefully they'll bring that up, in a conversation that they're having with someone who, could use what I had to offer. So confidence.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I understand that referral thing. When they dry up, it's kind of it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now, right?
Yeah, and it's all about having the confidence to get out there and know that people really do want and need what you have to offer.
Right. Lily, for you, what do you wish you would have had available to you now that you look back?
For me, I would say the network, how the network are right now is different, because I know how I started and then I know where I was before. So if those network was there, but then probably I'll be a millionaire now, but but still I'll get to that. But at the same time, I'm very grateful to be like have those kind of experience, and then now and see now where you are. So you're able to teach someone, how to keep going, even though the help was not there. You can still hold on to it till you get to find the help. So I would say, it's a great opportunity for me to have that kind of experience. But I wish, I get those help before. But, at the same time, I'm very grateful. I keep standing there to make it happen now. Now, like, you guys now, this sister city, bringing the platform now. And then all those nonprofits, I work with a lot of nonprofits, for them to get me through where I am today. So I wish, but then, we have it, but we don't have it like this. But at the same time, the confidence that you have, and then make sure you have a dream, you want to keep up going and see to reach your destination. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
The network, the network.
The network,
and knowing how to access the network too.
Yeah,
that's a lot of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, knowing how to access that network.
Yes.
Queen Twyla, what do you wish you had available to you?
I wish I had available to me. I was going to say more money, but if I don't have a great business coach and people around me to help me prioritize and get things in the right position, then I'm in trouble. So I'm not going to say capital anymore. I'm going to say that business team, that business coach, therapy, if you need that mental strategy, because sometimes, I'll speak on myself, growing up how I did with a lot of childhood trauma. Somebody can come in here on a bad day and say the wrong thing and trigger me. And now I have reacted based off of my emotions from way back in the day. I wasn't taught how to be professional and have a professional response, even if that other person is acting out of character. So I would just say a business coach and that community around me to make sure that I'm prioritizing right and that things are going in the right slot per se.
So basically, if you have that, the capital's gonna come.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. If you get all those things in a row, then everything else will follow suit. Yes.
Well, hey, I can't, I can't even, I mean, literally, that's the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah, it truly is. I'm just now starting to see the fruits of my labor 10 years ago because I decided to get a business coach. And a business coach doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing, that God didn't call you in that industry, or, that's not part of your purpose. The business coach is there to help you along the way so you can be as professional as possible. So, and then, that's another stigma in the Black community sometimes that I went through, oh, don't go get therapy, you're crazy, or everybody say that, and you start to take on that position like, well, all my cousins and all my family and all my friends.
Imagine why somebody would say that. Why would somebody say something like that? No one would. Just knowing what they know. I applaud. I applaud that. That's important. So, Kenita, Thank you, Twyla. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kanita, what did you wish was available to you?
I think the ladies pretty much touched on it in regards to maybe like experience and, I remember just wanting to work or get a job so bad because I was having so much fun that I really didn't negotiate the deal very well. In the beginning, there were some that I just kind of, that I went forward with just hoping that it'll work out right, like hoping on humanity opposed to contracts and legalities and things like that. And for the most part, I got away with that for a long time. Like I might have had 1 or 2 or 3 stories where, someone probably tried not to pay me at the end or, something weird like that. But for the most part, I didn't have any issues. But I wish that I just had more structure and maybe some help, knowing more about taxes and how to actually set myself up as a business structure opposed to just like sole prop, just self-employed and booking, just filling up my calendar.
Did you know that you did you have like what they call did you get the insurance part? You knew that did you do that part at least?
Well, when I started booking events at event venues and they were requiring me to have insurance, that's when I started to get insurance. But if I was working at a private residence or something like that, no. I just went on and did it. If I was working with all the best catering companies in San Diego, so I definitely kind of knew what requirements were needed for certain setups, as far as if it was cash bar, if it was open bar. But I definitely knew that some of the restrictions were more lenient if it was a private residence. But I started to grow so fast that I was being booked in legit event venues.
Okay. Got it. Wow. This has been so interesting. What I'd like to do is get us all people. We have so many questions. And Leslie, do you want to come on to do that? Do you want to come on and tell us about these questions? I want to talk. There's one question I saw that was really interesting. And Kanita, it was about the use of the word picnic. And I don't know if people know that. But Leslie, I don't know if you saw that question. So that was the question. I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Leslie, did you see the question, Leslie?
No, which was the question again?
There was a question about why did the word picnic make her uncomfortable, and there may be people that don't know the history of that word. For us,
well, my dad told me about what it meant in Houston, Texas, when he was growing up, and when my grandfather was growing up. It was something that was celebrated by racist Americans, where they would come out and pick a Black person at random and hang them from a tree, and they would all celebrate, eat, and laugh and take pictures and collect souvenirs. I don't mean to make light of that, but it's just a reality that I don't feel comfortable utilizing and making money off of. So I don't mind explaining what an alfresco experience is. I actually like the sound of it better.
Me too.
Me too. I love
the term itself stands for, it's not a nice term, but it was picnic. Okay, got it. That was it.
That's and I've heard other people say that it's a French term for just a dining experience or something like that. And maybe that's their reality. But for the bar bank and what I choose to do and how I choose to do it, I like alfresco packages.
Yeah, got it.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Michelle, for that. And thank you, Kanita, for explaining that.
No problem.
I love alfresco as well. Kanita, while we have you, there are a couple of questions for specific people and the rest are for everybody. And I'm going to just go in the same order we've been going. But Kanita, since we have you, there was a specific question about how you arrived at the name Bar Bank.
I get that a lot, and it's really kind of simple to where I'm born and raised here in San Diego, Southeast San Diego, and I always fall in love with certain neighborhoods architecturally. And when I moved back from LA, I moved to Bankers Hill first, and I just started to learn a lot about the history of the banking industry there, and the Balboa family, and important family where a lot of our buildings are named after. And I just wanted to be a resource for everything related to beverage and bars and cocktails and those things. So I just called it the Bar Bank. So that's really it.
It's always fun to know where people made up
I
where,
thought I
where
would
the names
change
came
it
from.
and that it wasn't really going to go anywhere. And when it did, I just stuck with it. And I wanted to keep it short letters, honestly. I wanted to be something that I could brand and do BB or fit on a t-shirt. And my business brain is always thinking like each letter is a price. So I just wanted to make it short and sweet.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Here's a question for Lily. And it's the person who asked the question just asked simply, where did you find the inspiration to keep going? Where did you get your inspiration when you felt you were struggling the most just to keep going?
Well, I'll say, first of all, you're gonna love what you do. And then no matter what's going on, you don't want to drop it. Yeah, a lot of people like if you start a business and then first you're gonna say, okay, I can buy clothes and just sell, or I can just do this and just do it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But in another way, if you have a business or you want to go with that business, what you can do before that business can be your partner, can be, whatever you want that business to be with you first before anything else. So if you find out how to get that and love that business more than anything first, before sharing it to other people, that means you love your business first before you share it to other people. If you do that, anything can be happening. You can't let it go. So that I built that first to love that business first. Can be anything, my first, whatever it's gonna be. So when you have that in you, anything can be happening around you. You still have that because it's kind of like something you really, really love. You can't ever let it go. So if you have that, I don't think you're ever gonna give up on business. Yeah,
Thank you.
good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think everybody, it's hopeful to know that you can always find inspiration within yourself.
Yes.
Based on that, here's a question for everybody, and I'm just going to go around. Lisanne, excuse me, Lily, Twyla, and Kanita. And here's the question. It's a two-piece question from one of our people in the audience. Do you have a mantra or a role model? And if yes, what and who? So Lisanne, do you want to start?
I don't really have a mantra. For me, it's more of an intention. It's about living boldly. So it's not quite a mantra, but it's like I always, challenge myself to live boldly, to be courageous, to say the things, to tell the truth. Yeah.
And do you want to and feel free to share if you have a role model. If you don't, we'll just move on. This is just the question that came from the chat.
You can move on. I have to think about that one.
Okay, no, that's fine. So next, Lily, can you tell us, do you have a mantra? And if you do, what is it? And if not, or if so, do you have a role model? And
well, I'll say I don't have it, but yeah, I do. Just be confident in myself. For remark, kind of like, well, I don't have any remark to, but I want to be the remark to people. Now people can look after me. So I'll say I'm gonna be the first generation to have to be there, and the people can look after me. So that's what I'm trying to do. So, and then I am here. So I think I'm getting there.
Thank you, Twyla.
Personally, I don't think I have a mantra, but I do have a role model, and her name is Kimberly Kimble. She's based out of the Los Angeles area, I fell in love with her when I went to Spectrum International Beauty Expo in Los Angeles, California. She had a class there, and she told a little bit of her story. Her story is
there you go.
Her mom being an addict and just trying to learn her mother and them trying to get that situation, but still in that, opening up her beauty business and thriving in the industry. So Kimberly Kimball is my role model. And also how professional she is. She's from the hood, but she's professional and she knows her thing. So you can ask her what the key ingredient in a relaxer is, and she'll be able to tell you, what it is. And you can, ask her, professional questions about the hair industry. And I just love how she is able to handle herself, present herself, and regardless of some shortcomings, she is professional. So that's my role model.
Thank you. Kanita, a mantra or a role model or both?
I don't know why that was so hard to answer, but I don't really know if I have a role model in my industry because I don't really see a lot of people that look like me in my space. So I'm trying to think, like, who do I look up to? Like, who's doing it that looks like me? That's like, and I don't have nobody. So I don't know who I look up to as far as what I'm doing, as far as, to help me see that that's where I want to go or that's where I want to get to. It's really based off of all just creativity. And I feel like the sky's the limit. Like I'm just it's like an empty canvas. But mantras, I have uncountable mantras. I mean, prayers are mantras as far as I'm concerned. So one that I'm using kind of this year on my vision board is I am my why, or I am ease, or another one is, money flows to me easily without trying, without, thinking. Like it just comes to me. Like I say mantras like that almost every day.
Thank you. That's great. Here's a question that comes up every summit. And this is just one of those, we've talked today about infrastructure, and everybody wants to know what our panelists have to say about getting health insurance as an entrepreneur. Can anybody?
That's a question.
Yeah, so it comes up. I mean, people really want to know, so we can go around, or if somebody just has something they want to say about it. Lisanne, do you want to start?
Yeah, I don't know that that's the best question for me. What I will say is that I have medical insurance. I reached out to someone in the Hera Hub. I think it was someone within the Hera Hub community who pointed me in the direction of getting health insurance. And I ensured that was part of my projection, my sales projections, was making sure that I had enough money for insurance and all of that. Yeah.
Thank you. Lily?
Well, I do have a health insurance, but well, I don't know for this question.
You know what? People are just curious about if you have any hacks or shortcuts or advice to give about getting health insurance, because it's just such a tough and expensive thing for anybody who's an entrepreneur. I think that's where the question's coming from. So if you'd like to share something, feel free, and if you don't have anything to share, that's okay.
I don't have anything to
share. Okay, we could move on. Kanita or Twyla, did either of you want to contribute anything on health insurance? Or
I can just say it's been a struggle. I do currently have health insurance, but before it was so much a struggle that I just started to lose weight, so I don't have to even go to
I was almost gonna say something like that.
That's a true story. I've lost 70 pounds because it was just
wow.
type 2 diabetic, and I standing on my feet. I had acquired an infection in my foot, and I was I'm talking about this close from getting that foot cut off. So that was what really brought attention to that. I'm working, I'm standing, I think I'm young, all right, yeah, I'm a diabetic, but I'm taking little pills, I'm all right. And that is not how it went. So I am insured now, thank God, but I really don't have any like ways or some extra steps. It was really a hard issue for me to the point where I said, you know what, which is good as well. Let me just concentrate on my health and my wealth and make sure that I get in a great position. So, you know, if something like that happens, it wouldn't be to the point where, you know, I'm on my way out or I have to pay thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Thank you for that. Well, did you want to say anything, Kenita?
Yeah, my answer is a lot of it's tough. I mean, I have health insurance now too, but that's because I'm now technically disabled at the end of the day. I mean, I was in a very terrible accident 2018 and had to learn to walk again, and so I'm insured, but prior to that, especially just working in the hospitality industry, we didn't have insurance. I worked in corporate America and all those things too, but I actually enjoyed hospitality when I switched back, and we didn't have insurance. I remember Obama thing came out and it was honestly just really confusing. And there is a way to just go to Covered California and pay, but there's no way that we're going to tell you that's going to be like good, or, you know, that's a whole nother thing that we have to address after we deal with the things that we're addressing that got us here. So our healthcare system, especially what I dealt with when I was in my accident at Mercy Hospital, was honestly terrible. Terrible.
I can give you a little bit of insight if that person is if you want. I'll give you a quick answer. And it is because I was helping a relative research in Covered California. What happens with the Obamacare is they give you a subsidy. So you can go there and you can look up the different plans, but you just got to be really, really, really. I worked in healthcare for 18 years, and literally you have to read every single detail there, because you may get a plan that costs you $50 a month, but it's got a $7,000 deductible. So you've got to look at, you know, okay, I could afford to pay $90 a month, and then I've got a $5,000 deductible, but my office visits don't cost anything. So literally, that's, you know, that is probably the best way that I've seen to go find out about healthcare, at least. And I know President Biden has just reopened it, and they're looking at creating more subsidies. So basically, they're subsidizing the cost of that plan for you, some of it.
Yeah, I focus on a lot of preventative, but I know that that's not enough.
You got to start keep yourself well.
Yeah, that's honest. I'm being very honest. That's what I focus on. But at the same time, there's going to be a time where you need to have some sort of person who has a track record of. This is me realizing how important healthcare is. They need to have a track record of things for your whole life. It's good to have that with the same person. But a lot of us, especially, you know, I don't know about everybody, but it's just not easy, in my opinion. Hopefully Biden will make some changes. I'm not sure.
Thank you so much for that. And clearly, if the summits are any indication, when we continue with these summits, healthcare would be a great topic for one of them.
Oh my goodness, I would love to get in on that.
I think there's a lot of layers here when we talk about this, particularly here. So thank you all. I'm going to now wrap this part of chat Q&A up. There are so many other questions. Everything that you said here today just prompted lots and lots of comments and questions, and we never get to them all, but thank you so much. And at this point, I'm going to hand it back over to Shawn, who's going to speak about our impact areas. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everyone. That was very, very inspiring as usual, and very informative. I love to hear those stories of how people started their businesses. So one of the things we like to make sure that is understood on these calls is that, you know, this is a great discussion. We have some great entrepreneurs that are on with us, but Sister Cities Project is all about taking some type of action. And so our great group here of individuals, of course, it's not just me, it's Michelle, it's Clara, it's Sophie, it's Leslie. There's others as well. We've been able to do quite a few things in 7 months. And so one of the things we've identified are 3 areas of impact that we want to, that are important to us. And those areas are, of course, are business growth, which you're all a part of the San Diego Black Women's Entrepreneur Summit Series. That's very important to us because not only are we having these, these summits. But the point of the summit series is threefold. It's number one, to grow our network of entrepreneurs. Secondly, it's to bring people that would like to support these women in their journey. So if you're on this call and you're interested in providing some type of service or mentorship or whatever it might be, that's what we're trying to do as well. And then of course, raising money as usual, which is one of those things we're trying to do to basically create an ecosystem for these women. And I'll tell you more about what we've done there as well at the end. But the second area of impact is workforce development, just creating jobs. We just recently launched our eco agency, which is providing jobs for young men and women in underserved communities, primarily Black minorities. We also our flagship area of impact is cultural exchanges. We had 10 cultural tours where we're basically taking residents from our sister cities. So for example, in Solana Beach, we take residents from Solana Beach and they go down to Southeast San Diego. We would actually have lunch with a Black-owned, we would actually get lunch from a Black-owned business, and also the residents and the people there would donate to give a bigger tip. So our areas of impact are very important to sister cities and what we're doing. The last thing we're doing I'd like to talk about, which is our in our business growth area, we are actually creating an ecosystem. We have a tangible form of that, which we've just launched, which is an online platform called the Eco Hub. So a lot of you that are on this call, whether you're a service provider on one end or an entrepreneur on the other end, we'll be inviting you to this platform so that we can grow relationships organically, and you have support, you have a community that is supporting you to grow your business and help you have a successful business. I'd like to again thank everyone for getting on the call. The last thing, one of the things I'd like to talk about is our survey again. So please, 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 I know, let's be honest, a lot of people ask you to fill out surveys. I find them a lot of times very annoying. Sometimes even we can say a waste of time. I think that what you need to know is that we're going to use this data. We're really trying to be very intentional about how we go about creating the actions that we create. So without your help, without you telling us what you feel is most important, we may not be able to take the right actions. So I implore you to please fill out that survey. If you miss it in the chat, or if you don't know where it is and you think about it later, please reach out to one of us or reach out to Sister Cities and we'll get you that link so you can then fill out that survey. And lastly, if anyone, one of the things this summit series is all about, and I'm just going to reiterate this message, which is raising money. So I know if anyone out there would like to donate, would like to give, the whole point is that we're raising money so that we can go right back and give back to the entrepreneurs that we work with through our ecosystem and through all the programming that we provide. So please, please donate if you can. And if you have any other questions or anything that you need to, we need to get back to you on, you can reach us at info@sistercitiesproject.org. So lastly, I would like to turn it back over to Clara to start wrapping everything up and thanking our sponsors.
All right, thank you, Shawn. And what an amazing fourth series that we just had. I mean, this was very inspiring, and having just the real talk, about our entrepreneurial journeys. And I just so enjoyed each and every one of our panelists today. So thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to join us on this journey. And at this time, I'd like to, you can't put on a high quality event such as this without the help of our sponsors. And there they are again: Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, MCCSN, SDBD, and San Diego Workforce Partnership, Urban Acclimate, 360, and 8560. But where I'm going with this is there's a planning team. There's a team that's behind the scenes that's making all of this happen. And that team is Sophie Wong, who's our production planner, who's keeping us on our toes throughout this whole experience and journey. And even in our chat sessions, she's reminding us what we need to be doing. So thank you so much, Sophie. Leslie Bridges, who's our program developer, who you've heard from, that was conducting our Q&A session. Thank you so much, and she keeps us on our toes as well. Michelle Price, our chief ego strategist. I can't say enough about this woman. Okay, she is out there making things happen, and just a jewel for Sister Cities Project. So thank you, Michelle. Shawn McClondon, founder, man behind the scenes with the vision to help us Black women entrepreneurs out here. This is long overdue. And so my hat is off to you, Shawn, for having that vision. And I can't wait to see within the next year, when COVID is over, where Sister Cities Project is heading, because I know it's just bigger and better things on the way. And we couldn't do this without our amazing production team. Milan, amazing, who's the people behind the scenes making this happen with the live streaming, Milan with Urban Acclimating 360, and our girl Adria, the it girl, all right, who's the producer and coordinator for this amazing live streaming. So I'd like to just thank everyone for all of what you do to help make Sister Cities Project a success. And it doesn't end here, as we said. Check in with us on our social media handles, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're going to have some real live chat sessions. So the conversation continues. And as I said to the panelists, you now have a new sister friend network, okay, that you can reach out and connect with. So again, it's been my pleasure to be your co-host today. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. And we're just wrapping it up at this point. Continue our conversation. So I believe that's all I have. And Michelle, it was a pleasure as always to share the screen with you. All right. So thank you so much, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Claire.